Have you ever been in a meeting or sitting at your desk and suddenly thought, what am I doing? I have no clue what people are talking about. Everyone else know what they're doing. Why don't I? One day they're going to realize I'm not as good as they think. That feeling, the feeling that I still have, and I grew to accept it, it's called imposter syndrome. I'm Daniel Gaina, senior cloud engineer, and even after almost 5 years in tech, working with cloud technologies like AWS, Kubernetes, I still have moments where I think, do I actually know enough? Am I really qualified to be here? These are questions that run through my mind, and I thought I can't be the only one who have this type of questions and feelings. So I decided to talk to engineer, architects, managers to see if they have these feelings, and to my surprise, they all say the same thing. They felt it too. Even people at the very top, they struggle with imposter syndrome. So if you feel this way, you are not alone. You are not broken. There is nothing wrong with you. You are just human. If you want to take the first step towards overcoming imposter syndrome and help others feel seen, drop a comment below. Just write, I feel it and I choose growth. It's short, it's honest, and it might be the shift that somebody else needs to hear. And if this resonates to you, please like, share it with people that need it, and subscribe if you want to see more video like this in the future. It really supports the channel and myself and help more people in tech who feel the same way. So let's go ahead and break this down. What imposter syndrome really is, how it shows up, why it happens, and then how to start dealing with it. Before we move on, I want to share a resource that made a real impact on how I think about growth and self worth. It's a book called HBR's 10 Must Reads on Managing Yourself. This isn't just about productivity hack or generic career advice. It's a collection of insight from some of the sharpest mind in leadership, psychology, and personal development. For anyone struggling with imposter syndrome, this book really helps shape your mindset. It reminds you that growth isn't about pretending to be confident. It's about understanding yourself deeply enough that you don't need to fake it. Whether you're early in your career or stepping into leadership, this book is one I keep coming back to as I think it's worth having one of your shelf. I'll add the link in the description. All right, let's keep going. Imposter syndrome, according to the dictionary, is the feeling that your achievements are not real or that you do not deserve praise or success. It sounds like I'm not good enough. I just got lucky. One day they're gonna find out. But the truth is, imposter syndrome doesn't show up in incompetent people. It shows up in people who care, people who push themselves, and people who are growing. Imposter syndrome isn't random. It shows up in humans because we're built to survive uncertainty, not to feel confident inside it. Every human being carries two worlds inside them, the world they show to others and the world they're quietly wrestle with. I like to think of the analogy of a duck, calm on the outside and pedaling very hard to stay afloat on the inside. On the outside, people project competence, certainty, clarity, but internally, they're dealing with fear, doubt, confusions, and questions. And whether they're enough, that tension between the external mask and the internal struggle is part of the human condition. And tech, it takes the tension and amplifies it. You might wonder why. Because the knowledge gap isn't just large, it's infinite. You can never be the best tech person that's out there. Every single day, there's something new, a new tool, a new framework, a new pattern, a new AWS service, a new vulnerability, a new error that doesn't even exist yet on Google or Stack Overflow. You can feel it pressure on you like a shadow that grows faster than your abilities. And now, with AI evolving at a pace we've never seen before, the feeling intensifies. It's no longer just learn this tool. It's like learn this entire ecosystem, and by the time you understand it, it has already changed. That creates a psychological reality where your confidence is always chasing knowledge and never quite catching it. Tech moves faster than your identity can keep up. You might master something today, only to find out that in 6 months it's obsolete. You finish learning Terraform, and suddenly you must understand GitHub Actions, Argo CD, OpenTofu, serverless patterns, AI workflows, vector databases, and tools that you didn't even knew existed last year. It's a moving target that never stopped shifting. And your brain can't update your identity as fast as the tech world demands. This mismatch creates a constant sense of being behind. And then there's also the comparison factor. In tech, you're surrounded by brilliant people, people who speak confidently, people who seem to know everything, people who run commands from memory, people who explain complex concepts in seconds. So you compare, you see their confidence, but you don't see the years that shaped it. You see their certainty, but you don't see the doubts that they've already overcome. You see the final result in them, but in yourself, you feel the entire process. And when you compare somebody's finished sculpture to your block of raw marble, of course you feel behind, but that doesn't mean you are. That just creates the illusion that everybody is ahead of you. It's the psychological trap where everyone doubts themselves privately but publicly assumes that everyone else is perfectly confident. So you think you're the only one who feels unsure, unprepared, or overwhelmed? The truth is, everyone around you is carrying the same doubts. They're just hiding theirs as well as you're hiding yours. In humans, this creates shame. In tech, it creates imposter syndrome. And in the world of AI, where everything moves so quickly that no one can reasonably keep up, it becomes almost inevitable. Imposter syndrome often feels like not knowing enough, fear of asking questions, anxiety before meetings, downplaying your achievements, avoiding new opportunities, thinking everything is luck, overthinking every decision. If you feel any of that, you are not alone. There is a simple psychological explanation. You compare your real, imperfect inner world to everybody else's polished outer world. But here's the deeper reason: your responsibilities grew faster than your identity. In tech, you can go from junior to owning infrastructure to leading incidents almost overnight. Your role changes quickly, your self image change slowly. You still see yourself as the beginner, even when others see you as capable. And that gap between who you were and who you're becoming creates that feeling of being an imposter. It's not incompetence, it's transformation. I want to share a little story from early in my career. 1 year within my career, I found myself working on a system that I didn't fully understand. But suddenly, a production issue happened, and people start calling each other left and right. And they were discussing potential issues. Based on that, using common sense and logic, I said that I thought what will be the issue. And to my surprise, the person leading the call told me, Daniel, good catch. Can you take the lead on this? And my first reaction was like, no, what, me? Inside, I was terrified, but I didn't back out because I didn't have the courage to say no, and I was forced to step in. So I checked the logs, I checked the service, I thought of what's failing, and it just happened that I found the issue. I proposed the fix, and some senior engineers coordinated the recovery and the fix. Everything worked. People thanked me. What they were they seen competence, I was more like, I didn't feel like pride. I just felt like luck. But that's exactly what went through my head. I got lucky. Like I got away with something. And maybe I was, some would say. But that came from working with a system for a while, from being able to analyze and make an educated guess and know where to look. Your capabilities grow faster than your identity can accept. That's imposter syndrome. There are three foundations to overcome imposter syndrome, and each one works together to rebuild your confidence from the inside out. Number one would be awareness. Awareness is the moment you learn to recognize the pattern, that quiet voice that says, I'm not good enough or I don't belong here. You stop treating it as truth and start treating it as a signal that your mind is running an outdated story about you. Awareness means you pause and you ask yourself, is this feeling coming from reality or from my fear? Just asking that question creates space between you and your doubt. Talking to others about imposter syndrome is important, but many people fear that if they ask about their performance, their fears will be confirmed. And even when receiving positive feedback, it often fails to ease feelings of fraudulence. But on the other hand, hearing from advisors, mentor, colleagues that have experienced imposter syndrome, it can help relieve those feelings. Here's a practical awareness exercise. When you feel imposter rhythm rise, say, this is self doubt speaking, not fact. This simple naming technique reduces emotional intensity and introduces clarity. Jordan Peterson often say, you bring order to chaos by naming it. Awareness is the beginning of that order. Second, it's evidence. Feelings lie, evidence correct them. Most people with imposter syndrome ignore their wins and magnify their failures. So you need to rebalance the scale. Write down your achievements, no matter how small they are. Just anything from a problem that you solved, a compliment that you received from one of your teammates, a project that you delivered, something new you've learned, or a situation you handled well. These are not just things that you did, they are proof that you are not the person you doubt say you are. As an exercise of this, I would urge you to create a note on your phone called Success Bank. Every time something goes well, just add one sentence on that note. Over weeks and months, you build up evidence that your brain can't argue with. When doubt shows up, open that list and have a read through all the achievements that you got. Show your mind the truth it keeps forgetting. Number three is exposure. Exposure is where change becomes real. Every time you step into something uncomfortable, like a new task or a meeting, a presentation, or a new responsibility, and you survive it, your brain rewrites the story. I can handle this. You don't overcome fear by avoiding it. You overcome fear by proving through action that you're capable. An exercise on this will be to choose a challenge that stretches you just by 10% outside your comfort zone. Ask one questions in a meeting or volunteer for a small new task or present your work briefly, explain something to a teammate, share an idea that you're unsure about. So it's not about going 50% or 100%, it's just go 10%. Small steps accumulate, and with each small victory, your brain updates, your identity begins to shift from uncertainty to capability. Imposter syndrome is not a signal to stop. It's a sign that you're standing exactly where growth happens. You are not an imposter. You're simply a beginner at the next level of your life. And that's exactly where you're supposed to be. If this resonated with you, please like and subscribe. It really supports the channel and help more people in tech who feel the same way. And remember, great tech starts with great people. See you in the next one.